What's going on, guys? So today, Cake and I are going to be analyzing a deck match that we had in a Metal Fight Limited tournament, El Drago's Vengeance, last year. So I'd first like to apologize about the lighting. This one was the last match of the day, so it was, I want to say it was like 8 p.m. So the lighting's pretty dark, but you should still be able to see, and we will explain what combos and what we are doing. So yeah, basically, this is just going to be us going over the match and explaining our decisions, what combos we went into, and why we built the decks the way we built them. So, yeah, are you ready to start, Cake?
Yep.
All right.
Oh, to go again.
Oh, better turn that off. So, right now, if you didn't see that, it's hard to see with this lighting. So, the deck I was using is something pretty classic that I use against Cake quite a bit. I was using Bandit Wyvang, H145, RSF, Earth Cancer, Metal Face, 85 CS, and then I believe I was using Gravity Perseus, CH120, Metal Flat. Actually, I know I was. And then, Cake, do you remember what you were using here?
Yeah, so on my deck, I've got Metal Face, Lightning El Drago. I think that's 100 RF.
Yep.
I have Gravity Perseus Stamina, Metal Face Heavy, R145 CF, and I think that's Metal Face Light, Jade Cygnus 85 RB. Or maybe it's
So
on CS.
this is actually CS.
Yeah, that's CS.
So did you want to explain why you chose CS over your usual choice of RB?
Yeah, so normally what I do is I run with Scorpio and RB, and then that lets me potentially get some KOs with an aggro launch on with Jade instead of it just being an inert defense type. And so then at this point, Swift had been beating me pretty consistently with Earth CS, and so I was thinking this was late into the tournament. I was thinking I'd get clever and bump up the stamina on my Jade combo that's my normal defense type in order to try and go head to head or beat that Earth CS combo. But as I remember, this doesn't go so well for me because I did not properly test that matchup beforehand.
Yeah.
I think the plan that I went into this with was because I'd been seeing Swift use a whole bunch of he was using a lot of that Bandit Wivang combo. I knew that Earth CS was a threat, and I forget if I remember if I really had an idea what you were going to use for your third combo, but I was pretty convinced that there was going to be. I think I was worried about Flame 230 again. So I think the plan here was I have two short combos with Lightning and with Jade. These are going to fare well in attack v attack for Lightning, and Jade's going to also wall off attack, so I've got a pretty secure way to deal with that banded combo. And then Gravity R145 CF was this thing that I was trying at the time to do some funky stuff with having two spin directions, so I can deal with Meteo combos. I can try and spin steal versus things. I can maybe pick up a KO with a little luck. And I was also going to try and be able to stall out defense types or something. And then again, I went over Jade. So I was thinking I had some clever, if maybe difficult, coverage for my deck. I don't know what you were thinking as far as your deck composition, Swift, if you remember anything.
Yep. So, I know that from first stage because I do remember specifically. I used Gravity CH120 Metal Flat against you, and you used Flame 230 Metal Ball, which is you were the first person I saw using Metal Ball on Flame 230. So that's why I was using the Bandit Wyvang so much, was because I that's why when I went into this deck match, I knew that Cake. Well, what I thought was that you would have some sort of Flame 230, mostly Metal Ball. So if I'm not gonna run Flame 230, myself in my deck, I need something to counter Flame 230. So when I was looking at my attack type choices, since I believe this was only my second tournament, so I wasn't super confident with attack. So I was like, Bandit Wyvang H145 RSF hits really hard, and it absolutely just destroys Flame 230. So that was my thought process in choosing Bandit Wyvang in this match. I chose Earth's 85 CS because, as you mentioned before, the I was just having very good success with that against you. Because it works as a really good defense type, but then is also able to outspin like stallers and stuff like that. So I did think that you would go with the Lightning 100 RF, um, just from like tests and stuff. But I was just like I risked it for the biscuit, as I would say.
Uh-huh.
And then Gravity Perseus H120 Metal Flat. I was using that because that is just a super safe combo. It can deal with Flame 230. So right there, I like my Bandit Wyvang deals with Flame 230, and then Gravity Perseus also deals with Flame 230. So the way I was looking at it was I can outstall your Jade combo. To be fair, I wasn't expecting you to use CS on Jade. I was expecting RB or RS
Hmm.
because that's what you generally run. So
Yeah, and so that's what I was worried about, and that's why I bumped up the stamina because
yep, exactly. So like basically what was going through my head when I build a deck is that I want there to be I want the how do I explain this? I want the best coverage possible. So they
uh-huh.
might not shine in one like Bandit Wyvang isn't the best just solid attack type on RSF. But
Hmm.
it has good ground. It can KO stamina stuff and then KO tall stuff. Um and then Gravity Perseus can outstall defense, can deal with Flame 230, and then can also deal with some other stallers like Jay's Lightning he was running. And then Earth 90 or 85 CS, that's just obviously a good combo, good stamina, good defense. So what you guys will notice from my deck building is generally none of the Beyblades that I use ever have one like main strong suit. They're kind of like balancy, if that makes sense. So that was how I went into it. Because Cake is a very big thinker, and I'm very scared to play against him because I know he spends time like thinking about the things I'm going to use. So yeah,
Yeah, and balanced coverage is generally just a really good way to go about deck building in general. Like
exact. Because
with
the worst thing is when you don't bring a Flame 230 counter in, and they just
Mhm.
5-0 you with Flame 230.
Yeah. So what I was knowing from going into this is I'd been getting some wins with like quite a few wins with Flame 230 at this tournament, I think. Um I had been at this point I'd kind of cemented myself as using Jade because I'd blocked Jay a couple times with it. I picked it against people who I knew were going to play attack, and it did its job beautifully for the most part. Um, so I kind of knew also that you were going to have some stuff that could stall out my pure defense if I tried to go for pure defense. So I knew I couldn't play Flame 230 because it was definitely going to get counterpicked, and so I was right
Yeah.
here. And I knew I couldn't just stick with basic, the same old Jade. I wanted to stick with Lightning because I know Lightning very well. That's a comfortable combo that I'm used to using. Um, and then also, the way that I tend to play is I tend to try and come up with some kind of funky thing that people haven't seen before, because that way I can, have a little bit of a leg up with, oh, they don't know this matchup, but I do, or whatever. This backfires on me horribly here because I don't know the matchups either. I raced into this a little bit too aggressively with making changes to my deck. And if we watch through this video, we'll see the Jade combo and the Gravity combo don't quite pan out for me here.
Yes.
Uh, the Jade combo I made in the spur of the moment, uh, just as something to try and adapt. Uh, and I guess we can look at the video, but it does not have enough stamina to do what I needed it to do.
Yeah. So we can go ahead and fast forward to our very first match, which is right here. So I can't remember which one we went for. Okay, it looks like I went Bandit Wyvang, and I think you were on Gravity Perseus.
I think I was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yep. Yep. I remember that. That was like shocking
Yeah.
right there. Because
Yeah.
look at how good that flower is with Circle
Yeah.
Flat, which
Yeah, that combo is very heavy, so it did manage to survive with Aang, even though it was on plastic.
yeah,
Um,
like when that happened, this battle right here, that scared me because when I saw you using gravity, I thought I was gonna get the first win and then
mhm.
swing
Yeah,
the match into my favor. Um, which when you were able to KO right there, that was pretty scary. Now, I always say this, you hear me say it all the time. Is at this point the judge is asking me rematch or no rematch, and the smartest way you can play is to always say no rematch. Would you agree with me, Cake?
usually, yeah.
like there's like unless you mislaunch something, like if I would have
Unless it's
mislaunched,
like
yeah,
unless it's like truly
your
like
only
a
chance.
yeah, unless it's truly like a really good matchup that you just completely screwed up somehow. Uh, Rematching is rarely a good idea. Like,
Yeah, so let me
Broke it?
actually. I wonder
I
if
just
I can.
noticed it's broken.
Oh, that
The
was
things that I don't
Jay
have.
noticing that
Jay,
his
if you
thing.
look
I
in
just
the
wanted to hear
box,
like the judge. You know what I
like on
mean?
top of
uh-huh.
the toolbox. One.
All right. Yeah. So okay. So
Yeah, there's
right
Earth.
here, I
Oh no, that's
asked
gravity. Yeah,
rematch or no rematch is what they asked me, and when I said no rematch, Cake decided to stick with gravity.
yeah.
Did you
Because
did
at
you
this
want to?
point, I'm pretty sure that I have at least decent odds of beating most of your deck with gravity here. Because so gravity versus gravity, 50-50 ish. If I can get lucky again with against your banded, that's great. And I know that I can outspin banded.
Right.
Um, and then I believe that I have the LAD advantage against Earth. I forget if that's actually true. But so I'm feeling kind of confident in gravity at this point. It's not great because two of your combos are attacky, and this is not the most defensive combo by any means, but it's not horrible either.
Right, right. So I ended up when he stuck with that, I looked at gravity, and the reason I chose my gravity is because his is on the 145 height, and circle flat is shorter than metal flat, but I believe that CH120 still gets me a little lower than you, right?
Yeah, going from regular like a metal flat to a short tip like circle flat, I just measured it. It's like you drop 2 millimeters, so 20 track height. So at 145, I'm still at 125. I'm still taller than CH120.
Yep. So the way I looked at it was kind of the same thing. I was like, Wyvang is at 145, gravity hits H145 and then just throws it. And then Earth, like again, like I didn't know if I could outspin it or if he would win because he was on circle flat and had the LAD. So I went with Gravity Perseus and right spin. Because I was just kind of looking to be um a road bump. This is before I
Yeah.
was experimenting with a grab or on Bakushin on metal flat.
One.
Hmm.
So as you can see right here, yeah, it worked exactly how it was supposed to, and just kind of threw it out. So
Rematch.
all right, so Cake. So right here, did you want to explain why did you rematch?
Um, I think I called rematch because I thought that it was like so CF is faster than metal flat. Um, and let me think, because at this point I'm thinking I'm heavier than you because I have R145 going for me, and and then um I have more LED than you because I have circle flat. So I'm thinking it might not be like super favorable to me, but I'm also not thrilled to like I don't want you picking uh Earth because I think I'm still scared of it at this point. I'm
Yeah.
and I don't yeah.
Okay. So
I think I've got a pretty decent chance of picking up a win here just because it's a very similar combos, but I'm heavier, so I'm thinking I'm gonna win here.
All right.
3, 2, 1. Double KO.
All right. So actually, I never saw that before. I think I might have went
I
out
think
a
you,
little early.
yeah, I think you exit first, but
Yeah, but
not
since
by
it's
much.
MFB, there wasn't any video review. And then from Magic, of course, who was the judge's point of view, it might have just looked like a double KO.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And we were all cold.
3.
Yeah, at this point, we just want to get out of here. And that might also be part of why I did rematch, because I'm just tired.
Right. Oh, so let's watch this one back. This one was weird because you were able to get under me, but I think since I'm on metal flat, I was able to, like, catch myself on the ridge.
Yeah, and then I got unlucky and just ran out.
Yep.
Rematch.
So you can tell me if I'm wrong, but after that match happened and you called a rematch, the reason I thought you called a rematch was because you were getting under me. So if you
Yeah.
didn't self KO right there, I was thinking that maybe you thought you could actually just like get me out, and it was just unlucky.
Yeah, I was really thinking that I had the LAD advantage and I had the weight advantage. So on average, I was going to pull out ahead here. I don't know that it was the best idea. I think it was very much driven by me being cold, but
Yeah. For any of you guys who didn't know, this was a 2 tournament day, and the first tournament was super long because it was Metal Fight Standard, and then this limit it was like 45 degrees out, which doesn't sound super cold, but it was super cold and windy. That was the main thing. It was very windy.
That was the killer.
So you'll hear us all like sniffling and coughing and stuff. So.
Do this forever. 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, you gotta get the fuck out of
Oh!
There.
You guys didn't hear that.
Okay.
there. You gotta dip quick.
Oh, no rematch.
Alright.
You choose.
And so I finally don't take the rematch, following my advice from previously.
Yep. So right here, I honestly can't remember. I'm just gonna like guess on what I chose. So when you said no rematch and I had to choose, and I looked at your whole deck, in my head I thought my best bet was actually Earth CS. So that's what I would choose now. I'm not sure if that's what I chose here.
I think that's the correct choice.
Oh, I stuck with gravity.
So I'm on lightning now.
3,
Yep.
2, 1.
Yep.
And it works. Yeah.
Yep. Just
I should have been
lower-
doing that from before.
No rematch?
Yeah.
Stay.
Yeah, it's no way. No way.
So I had to go to Earth CS. It was my best
I
chance.
respect it. Holy
No
shit.
way.
That is such a sick
actually
combo.
Left over flat.
That's crazy.
Got me.
Yeah.
My bad.
We're gonna use a flame 230 and then get to the
All right.
No.
So
Yeah.
right here, I switched to Earth, and for you guys who don't know, Cake put his lightning lower because he knew I was using the Earth. At least that's what you told me at the time.
Yeah, because I had been experimenting with 145 height earlier, bumping it up a little bit higher, I think, and then dropped back down to my good old 100 setup. Because again, it's gonna get a lot better versus Earth, and I was worried about Earth. So
Yeah. So he dropped that down, and that I was very scared because lightning hits very hard, and being that low, it was almost as low as my Earth. So
yeah, we tested this, and it did pretty well.
3,
Yeah.
2, 1.
All right, so I got really. I don't know if you guys could tell from my launch. I launched lighter than what I normally would do.
No, the Earth
the
has
score?
the
So
KO.
it wasn't like a weak launch. It was just it was just not a hard launch.
Oh, you put your life on this? You're putting.
So okay, yeah. So Cake rematched because this was.
That was supposed to win, and you can see I bank properly this time and get a good launch. That
Yeah, and you guys can see that I'm a cheater and went across the middle line. So. Yup.
yeah, and there we go.
3, 4.
4-3, let's go.
No rematch.
Oh,
Okay.
nah.
I'm still lagging behind because of all those gravity rematches.
Yep.
What was your deck again?
Dude, you guys are actually playing.
All right, so we have Cake. Oops. We have
Sweating a
Cake.
little bit.
He's like, what do I do? What do I do? And he chooses this, which was very interesting.
That's what I was gonna say.
and
But
the-
yeah,
Yeah, and I so since he had the CS, so generally I would have went gravity, just because I can use left spin, and just outstall basically, because even on RB Jade is really wide, so its LAD is pretty
yeah, because at this point, we are currently, again, I'm 1 point away from losing, and I am really worried about, I think the smartest play in hindsight would have been to pick Lightning again, but I was really worried about not being able to follow through and KO Earth again. So I ended up going over to Jade, which was really not a smart choice because I hadn't tested the stamina tiers, and I'm gonna lose because of this. But the idea was that Jade does decently against gravity and lightning as long as they're not like short enough, because it does have a tiny little bit of slope, and that makes it destabilize things. And so you can actually get it to outspin some things with, or like a lot of left spin. It can still win even though its LAD isn't that good because it knocks the left spin opponent off balance.
yeah. Jade is super good against left.
As long as it's an attack type and not a stamina type or whatever.
Right.
But because I know a lot of people have used lightning against it, expecting to get the OS even if they fail to KO, and then they don't.
Yep. And since you were using CS, that's why I was too scared to use gravity, because first of all, my gravity was like mid height. It was CH120, so it was not short enough to like get a KO, and then that mixed with it being on metal flat, I was just not confident flowering with metal flat, and since you were on CS, I genuinely just didn't think I could outstall it either.
Yeah.
So
I was basically just gambling on the Jade versus Earth matchup not working out for Earth.
yeah, and what you guys will see here is
Alright.
it
Does Jade have more
was
stamina?
it was pretty interesting how it started off.
Raw stamina's worse, but it's heavier, so.
Yeah, you can hear me saying the raw stamina is worse, but it's heavier, so.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
Oh, I launched really early there. I'm sorry. I didn't even...
Oh, no.
All right, so
What is
that was kind of crazy right there.
Just wailing on those CSs,
Yeah, like
and
you
they're
can see how hard Jade was hitting me. I got like
I'm
2
surprised
wall
Jade just
saves.
didn't punch it out. What the hell?
It was pretty close. But...
I got close.
I think
So-
I lost more stamina on that, though.
So I took more damage there, but unfortunately Jade's stamina is just so absolutely garbage.
Now we can
good
see
lighting
about-
finally.
Yeah, we should have had
I
this
don't
the
think
whole
we can
time.
really stay here for too much longer, honestly. Just keep spinning. It's getting dark.
But as you guys can see, Jade could not come even close to outspinning Earth.
Jade does not have
It-
good stamina.
Yeah, so
Even with CS and Cygnus and a Metal Face Light.
for what
it
it's
doesn't
worth,
work.
you could put W2D on there and it would still probably lose.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was really interesting, and I did respect your deck. It was pretty scary, not gonna lie. But yeah,
I like that gravity combo. I think it just requires a lot of skill to get gravity CF to work, and
Yeah.
I don't always have the skill, so
yeah. So like, people need to realize. So when you're testing something at home in the comforts of your home, in a place you're comfortable with, you're always gonna get consistent results. But when you're somewhere else, even if it's like super hot out, or in this case super cold, that's gonna affect the way you play. So like we're already like mentally fatigued from playing Metal Fight Standard. Rest in peace, our souls and our brains. But also it was just super cold and windy. So like flat launching and stalling circle flat is just not as easy as it looks. Because it takes a lot more skill, which is why I never use circle flat. I always use metal flat, because it's super forgiving. Because you don't get a complete flat stall launch. Oh well, luckily Metal Flat will just catch the ridge.
Versus Circle Flat is very potentially very good, but it's a fickle mistress.
It's very good if you can master it, I suppose. But it also has less grip. So one thing that I've always been scared about using it is in head-on collisions. I feel like it loses. Like it has more weight with the general setups it's used on, which is like R145 or GB145.
Hmm.
But it still has since it's so wide and it circle flat's very easy to skip over the ridge, right? So
Yeah.
the way I look at it is especially now. So now nobody in our area even uses gravity on metal flat. We've all switched to Bakushin on metal flat. Which that also just destroys circle flat gravity.
Yeah.
Um and also it destroys F230 circle flat or GCF. So yeah, so this match was a little bit outdated. The meta has changed. Obviously, you can see I'm using a launcher grip like a noob. No offense, Cake, but but we definitely have changed. Cake still does use that low lightning, and I think the last time we played, he actually got me with it. Can't remember, but
I think that's true.
yeah, because yeah, you just kept KOing me like
Yeah, I'd retired it for a couple of tournaments and then I brought it back. I was doing a lot of throwback stuff at the most recent event.
yup,
Uh,
yeah. So, but yeah, that has been our review. Is there anything else you wanted to talk about, Cake?
yeah, I think just like the environmental factors and, not being able to perfectly follow through on things is a huge deal. Because like if your combo when you're sitting in the comfort of your home doing your testing and you're getting like 70%, uh in a tournament setting when the pressure's on, when you might have Cheeto dust on your fingers and it's messing up your launch, or uh you know uh 70% might not be enough to win. Like
Exactly.
especially if you've got an opponent who's trying to do all their clever things that they can do to mess up your game plan. Uh, it's really like if any of you play Pokemon, Focus Blast always misses. That's 70% accuracy, but that 30% will sometimes get you when you need it the most. Like,
Yeah, and then you also have the stress. Like this was the final match, so
yeah,
and the prizes were super sick. New in box Metal Masters things.
hmm
These really sick 2-packs. So in the back of your head, you're thinking, if I win, I get first choice. I can get that rare Cyber Aquario RF recall. That you know what I mean? So like
yep,
you're thinking about that. You're like, if I lose, like, it's like it's gonna like second place. A lot of people will say second place also feels worse than like third place, you know? Um so you have all that stress on you and you're just like Cake said, the 70% turns into more of a 50-50, to be honest, especially in first stage when you only get 3 matches or 3 chances.
hmm
So yeah, overall I it is always weird for me to play against Cake because him and I practice very like a lot together.
yeah.
So we kind of know everything that we use. Uh
And
so
so it's always a question of, will one of us switch off to something that isn't the normal to deal with whatever other combo that one of us is like loving at the moment?
Yep, or
It's
will we
always interesting.
counterpick too hard and overthink it and then they're just going to
Yeah.
use what they were going to use.
Yep.
So that's how the matches generally go, but if that's all you got, I think that's all I have
All right.
on this match. I thought it was a very good tournament. I had a lot of fun. I learned a lot of things. We learned that Jade is just not superior. Um but
Yeah, it's been a while since I've used Jade. It's
yeah,
very
guys,
sad.
don't spend $200 on a Jade. It's just not worth it. RB is good, but not worth $200.
Just get Bakushin RSF. It'll be fine.
It will
Like,
be literally fine. Or metal flat. Come on,
yeah.
you can get quite a few metal flats for $200. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let us know in the comments below how we can improve it. If it needs to be shorter, if you guys would like it to be longer, that kind of stuff. Um, So yeah, I'm not sure if Cake will be able to join me next time. I plan to do at least one of these every week, and I know that Cake is a very busy guy, so some of them might just be me alone, and I might even bring some other people that I had a matchup against on to also review the matches. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and please comment, like, and subscribe. See ya.